Hello, everybody. Have you heard the latest bloody news? Oh my God, this world's mental. It really is. But don't worry, I'm going to share the mentalism with you so we can all find out what's going on in the news. Yes, again, hello, folks. Brace yourself because today we're digging into a wild, troubling story that touches on identity, obsession, grief, and the ripple effects of when reality and belief collide. We're talking about the case of a woman who claimed to be Madeleine McCann. Yes, the Madeleine McCann case that happened several years ago. And there was a woman, or is a woman because she's still doing it. She's been found guilty of harassing Madeleine McCann's family. So stay with me because you're going to find out what's going on in the news starting right now.
Analyzing the news.
There she is. Do you remember that picture? That beautiful little girl who went missing. I can't even think how many years ago it was. But yeah, it happened. She went missing and she's still not been found. It's probably one of the biggest stories that were ever put on the news because she vanished and still they've not found her. There's no suspects. Well, there was one suspect, but they know it's not him. There's not enough evidence. So the person who's took her is still at large and they haven't got a bloody clue. And they've spent millions of pounds trying to find out the answer to who took Madeleine, the poor little girl. It's like the focus has been taken off the girl and more focused on the family. Because can you imagine that? Can you imagine you're going on holiday? Because this is what happened. You're on holiday, you've got a little daughter, and then you go out, leave your daughter in the apartment, which is a no, which is lunacy. So let's all learn from that. Be a good parent. You don't leave a little girl. She was a little toddler in an apartment on her own. Yeah, the family said we checked on her every 5 minutes. Well, it wouldn't have been 5 minutes, would it? But they checked on her regularly. And then at one time when they checked on her, she wasn't there. Next minute, the police are involved and she's gone. Very sad story. It's more sad for that little girl. What happened to her? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. But there's the weirdos in the world, isn't there? And what I mean by weirdos, they are people out there who pretend to be that little girl, because that little girl wouldn't be a little girl anymore. She would be a woman. It's all over the news. Anyway, let's find out what we're talking about today. Let me get the actual news up. It says, woman stalked Madeleine McCann's family. This is what the jury told. This is her ear. This isn't obviously Madeleine McCann. Nobody knows who she is. But this woman on the right has claimed that she is the actual little girl. And she's convinced she is. And she's been stalking the McCann family. Yes, the Madeleine McCann family. And she was found guilty of harassing. Now, this is seriously harassing Madeleine McCann's family because, well, stay with me because we're going to go into this a lot more. Now, you think harassment, what level of harassment? Now, this was serious harassment. And it was traumatizing the family because she kept on ringing her up saying, Mom. Now, you've got to remember, you've got to think of them poor parents and what they've gone through. They still don't know where their little girl is. And there's been accusations. There's been suspicions that it was actually the family had something to do with it, saying, oh, it was the dad, it was the mum, they were swingers, all these rumours. And they have to put up with all that crap. And there's no evidence of it. It's just hearsay. People like to make stories up, don't they? But in short, let's talk about this woman, this 24-year-old woman. Her name's Julia Wandelt from Poland. She claims she was and is Madeleine McCann. She contacted Madeleine's family, her parents, Kate McCann and Gary McCann, who were the parents of the little girl, repeatedly. She was messaging them, calling to the house visits. She had a DNA evidence showing that she wasn't Madeleine McCann. And science said, nope, she isn't. But still, she still believed that she was. So I want to ask you a question, okay? Let me know what your thoughts are. What would you do if someone claimed that they were someone you loved? How would you feel? Can you imagine that your daughter had been kidnapped by someone many years ago, and every day you've got to live with that fact? There's no evidence to show any point of direction. It's like someone's took it and we haven't got a clue who's done it. We don't know where she is. We can't assume she's dead, even though that's the easiest thing to do. They've got to live with that, and then suddenly someone's ringing you up saying, I'm your daughter. And there's a resemblance as well. How would you feel? You're not going to be over the moon, are you? You're going to be unnerved, unsettled, stressed, anxious, all negative emotions. And rightfully so, because it's a traumatic thing, isn't it? All right, let's get into this harassment, because this is serious. The harassment and the emotional impact that it's going to have. Well, this woman didn't just stop at, I might be her. She didn't just say that. She texted the family. She phoned the family. She showed up at the home several times. She addressed Kate as mom. So every time she rang, she was like, Mom, that's going to traumatize you. And Kate said that she was deeply distressed. And because hearing the word mom from someone she knows she's not a daughter, but still the emotional weight of that is huge. This woman is got serious mental conditions and mental illness, but the way she was projecting herself, it was almost giving the parents hope, because part of their brain wanted to find their daughter. So part of them was like, is it Madeleine? Could it be Madeleine? They didn't just brush it off and thought, oh, it's just some strange random woman. They were like, is it? Could it be her? Let me ask you, when does persistence cross the line into harassment? What's your threshold? How much could you take? Because they couldn't get rid of this woman. She would not stop ringing them. They changed the number. She got the new number. She kept on going to the house, sending letters constantly. Mom, it's me. So let's look at the court thing. What happened in court? Because it's gone to court. This woman's got in serious trouble for this, for harassment. Let's have a look. So again, you've got it all here on Sky News, or is it the BBC News? So let's see what happened in court. The jury cleared Wandelt of stalking, but found her guilty of harassment of the McCann family. She was sentenced to 6 months in prison, though she'd already served that time and faces deportation. Also a restraining order, because the judge said that she possesses and poses a significant risk of future harassment. Is 6 months a long time? You think, well, she's only a bit mental. She's only a bit odd. She's not really physically hurting anyone. And you say, yeah, she's not physically hurting anyone, but can you imagine? Can you imagine the stress that it would put on you? You're trying to get on with your life and you can't, and then suddenly someone rings up saying, I'm your daughter. Do you think, what are your thoughts? Do you think the punishment fits 6 months? She won't serve 6 months. She'll serve about 3. You usually get half your time. But do you think that punishment fits, given that she believes she might be Madeleine? Or does the harm done override the belief? In other words, you just think, well, she's mental, just leave her alone. But she's not that mental, because if she was significantly had mental health, she wouldn't have been sentenced. She would have just put, right, there's something wrong with her. But this woman is fit enough, because she would have had psychological tests done on her. She's mentally capable of her own self-awareness. In other words, she really believes that she's her daughter. What do you think? Because she's been sentenced. Should she have been sentenced? Let me know in the comments. Scary stuff, innit? Scary stuff. But that's life, isn't it? But again, I don't think this woman was being malicious or anything like that. She genuinely believes she's Madeleine McCann. So here's the weird paradox. This woman, Delt, I don't know if I'm pronouncing her name wrong, but she believes she was Madeleine McCann, even though the DNA and the facts said otherwise. She underwent hypnosis, so they did hypnosis on her, and she claimed memories of being Madeleine. Now this is when she was under hypnosis, so she really, really believes this at a subconscious level. She really believes that she was that little girl that's been taken. Now, this raises big questions. When someone believes something strongly, but the reality contradicts it, what's the responsibility of that person? In other words, if you believe something, let's switch it. If it's you and you believe that you're this person, and the whole world is saying, well, it's not true, but you believe it, and you've had hypnosis when they put you into a deep unconscious state, and your unconscious still believes that you are this person, and you're perfectly sane. So you're trying to get to your families because they're saying, I'm your little girl, and then you get put in prison. Who's the victim in that sense? Is it the woman? But either way, it's going to have traumatic events and experiences on the McCann family, isn't it? Let me ask you a question about this, okay? Because there's a lot of questions we can ask. And one of the questions is, have you ever had a belief that you just knew was true only to find proof it wasn't? How did you feel? That means when you know something, you know it. And then the rest of the world said, oh, it's all in your mind. You're like, but I know it. I know it's true. That's going to create confusion in you. But you're persistent because you know what you know. You know what you know. So you continue pushing it. And then you get put in prison. But you won't let go of it. How would you feel? It's like someone saying to you, that you looking in the mirror and seeing your face, and then other people saying that reflection you're seeing isn't reality. You don't look anything like that. And you go, but I can see myself. The whole world's saying you're seeing the wrong thing. How would you respond to that? You've got to look at it from this woman's perspective, because in her mind, that's how she sees it. She believes sincerely that she's Madeleine McCann. She really believes it. Scary stuff, isn't it? Scary world we live in. But mental health is on the rise, isn't it? It's not getting easier, it's not getting better. More and more people are going round the bend. I remember years ago, and I don't know if this is because the world's different now because of the internet, but I doubt it, but years ago, you didn't see mental people. All mental people lived in hospitals. Now they're walking around and they've got platforms to speak. Mental's become normal, and normal has become mental, because in some cases, if you speak rationally, truthfully, and tell the truth, there's certain groups of the world that'll argue with you. But that's the world we live in. What are your thoughts? Let me know. What do you think? Should there be more support, legal, psychological processes for all parties? In other words, should the woman get psychological help? Should the McCann family get more psychological support with the way they're suffering? Because even though this woman's going to go to prison now, that doesn't stop the traumatic events that's happened to the McCann family. Because this was going on and on and on. It wasn't just happening over a period of a few days. This was constant Mum. Why are you denying me? It's me. Now the big argument is, what if it was Madeleine McCann? What if she is Madeleine McCann? And it's a big cover-up. I'm not saying it is, but this is a way people look at it. They say, maybe it is her. It could be her. They say, but the DNA says it isn't. It says, but maybe that's what they're saying. Again, it goes deeper and deeper, doesn't it? You never freaking know. But yeah, it's all over the news now. Okay, the news is changing as well. There's more news coming out, but mainly that's what we're focusing on. There's more news here, if you can see it, about these little girls. Actually, let's talk about this just for a second. It says killer parents were absent and turned away from duties. What's this all about? This is breaking news. Parents of a 6-year-old BB King, Lauren and Ben, had this to say. A few weeks and months has passed in a blur. We've chosen not to sit and listen to every moment of evidence because from the very beginning it's been painful clear that baby was failed in every turn. Right, so that's in regards to the killer's parents were absent and turned away from duties. Baby King's parents. This is something else that's just come on the news now as I'm reading it. Like I say, I'm doing this live, okay? Oh, look at them poor little girls. You know who they are, don't you? Yeah, that idiot, that man murdered them. So that's what's happening in the news now. But again, we're talking about Madeleine McCann. But guys, what do you think about it? What are your thoughts on it? So yeah, she's been sentenced, okay? But is it fair? Is it a fair sentence? That's what the argument is. Because she's in a prison cell now and she's still not thought, do you know what, yeah, maybe I'm not, I'm an attention seeker. She still strongly believes till this moment that she's Madeleine McCann, and she's not going to stop believing it. So when she comes out of prison in 6 months, she's not going to say, oh, I've learnt my lesson now. She's going to come out, and what's the first thing she's going to do? Is she going to go and contact Madeleine McCann's family? Well, probably, because you can't just switch it off, can you? What would you do? Let me know. Let me know. It's like someone saying to you, you're not who you say you are. So whatever your name is, your identity, it's like everyone else said, oh, your name's not that. Your name's Bobby. And you're like, well, I'm not. I'm so-and-so. It's like, we got to remember, we live in our world, don't we? We live in our thoughts. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you learned something new. But basically, in a nutshell, that's it. And that's what's been happening in the world in regards to the Madeleine McCann story. Again, they still not find the person who did it. They've got suspicions it was that guy from Germany, but there's no solid evidence. But again, it's easy just to point at anyone, isn't it? But without strong, clear evidence, there's no evidence. So yeah, unfortunately, whoever's took it has got away with it. Will they ever find her? Well, if they haven't found her now and they haven't found the person who did it, the chances are it'll be a case unsolved, like Jack the Ripper. That never got solved. So why did they call him Jack? Because they didn't know who he was. But again, that was back then, wasn't it? Now, with the way the world is, and surveillance and DNA, you would imagine they could find her very quickly. But unfortunately, that's not the case. Anyway, guys, until next time, take care, look after yourself, be safe, and thanks for watching.